the turmoil it's causing on both sides of the Atlantic.
Queen City News starts now.
One person is dead and another in custody after an argument devolved into a shooting outside an East Charlotte supermarket. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Brian Blakely. Witnesses say their stop to pick up groceries was interrupted by gunfire this afternoon. It happened before 4:30 outside the Food Lion store in the plaza in East W.T. Harris Boulevard. Queen City News reporter David Schumann shows us the scene.
This parking lot and much of the surrounding area was closed for hours Thursday because of a deadly confrontation outside the supermarket that witnesses say ultimately ended there across the street. People who were here told me two men fought in front of the Food Lion and one of them ended up pulling a gun and shooting the other. Then I'm told the victim got in his car to drive away but crashed into a building just across the street. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police say that victim had multiple gunshot wounds and died on scene. One man who works in the shopping center lamented the senseless violence.
I don't know what the argument was about. To me, it doesn't matter what it was about. It just shouldn't result to violence or somebody getting killed. And now you have two families destroyed. You have one possibly being charged with murder, and then you have another one just dead.
Witnesses say the shooter stayed on scene, and police have confirmed that a person of interest was detained. In East Charlotte, David Schumann, Queen City News.
You are looking live at Uptown Charlotte, the skyline from our Arlington camera tonight on this Thursday. And people who want to feel some spring-like weather will love what's coming tomorrow for Friday. Chief Meteorologist Tara Lane is here. And Tara, we could have a wet start to the day, but that sun could push us into record territory.
We are talking about, like you said, spring-like warmth here and maybe downright hot feeling for some of you. I mean, especially considering this time of the year, like we had earlier today, 78 degrees was the record-breaking high temperature at the airport in Charlotte, breaking that previous record of 76 from back in 2014. And we could do the same thing all over again tomorrow. And even here tonight, we're not cooling down all that much. We've got 67 degrees in place so far. Southwest, warmer, lighter breeze compared to earlier today, but it could get pretty gusty at times like the past couple of days again for tomorrow afternoon. And dew points, yeah, definitely not as dry. Those numbers continue to climb up into the mid 50s. So feeling just a little more of that humidity or moisture in the air today as well. We've got still some mid 60s there into Rockingham and Chesterfield County, close to 70, and Lancaster, lower 60s heading on up into the foothills, mid 40s up in the mountains at Boone, getting a little chillier there, and 52 so far up in Jefferson. Warm front is lifting up to the north and closer to this area of low pressure, and right at that triple point there where the intersection of the warm front and the cold front and that low pressure, a little more energy and shifting winds higher up in the atmosphere. They're tracking possible tornadoes up across sections of the Midwest and parts of Indiana and heading into southern Illinois earlier. Now all of that is advancing east into Ohio. Now we do have a trailing cold front that is bringing us more clouds tonight and starting to see more showers and storms firing up there across sections of southern Kentucky and parts of west and eventually heading into middle Tennessee. Some of that activity will be headed our way. Nothing severe, but certainly a few showers and maybe an isolated storm into tomorrow morning, but still largely dry as we're sleeping tonight. Mostly cloudy to just plain cloudy as temperatures only cool down into the mid 60s by 3 o'clock in the morning or so. So waking up to 60s early tomorrow. Just how much warmer we are going to get in the afternoon and when we will be tracking some of those weekend showers and storms. I'll show you a more specific look at that timeline that's ahead in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tara. You can stay up to date on the conditions and track the storms right down to your neighborhood by using our Pinpoint Weather app. It's free to download from the Apple App Store and on Google Play. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police say they have made an arrest in a cold case murder dating back to 1990. It was in July of that year when Kim Thomas's husband found her dead in their Cotswold home. Police initially suspected that husband, Dr. Ed Freeland, in the crime, but they later dropped the case. Today, investigators charged Marion Gales with the murder after linking his DNA to the crime scene. They say technology unavailable in the 1990s helped them break the cold case. Court records show Gales finished parole just 2 months ago for a 2008 voluntary manslaughter conviction in Mecklenburg County. He has a history of other crimes, including assault, larceny, breaking and entering, and drug possession. South Carolina lawmakers are considering a bill that would change the rules for teachers and doctors who work with children. The parental rights bill passed in the State House today. The only no vote came from a Spartanburg Republican who says the measure doesn't go far enough. Under the bill, minors would need parental consent for non-emergency medical procedures or treatment. It also requires school officials to get consent from parents before students participate in any discussion relating to gender roles, identity, or expression. House members spent hours cleaning up the language and making clarifications.
I do not like this bill. I don't like the spirit of it, and I find it unnecessary. However, I will be supporting this bill today for one reason and one reason only. I genuinely appreciate the collaboration of everyone.
Supporters say the measure would put more control in families' hands. Opponents worry about classroom censorship. The bill still needs that Senate approval. Mecklenburg County officials say the number of people experiencing homelessness in the Charlotte area is increasing. It rose by 11% in 2025. They released the results of their annual survey logging housing insecurity. Officials also say more people are seeking places to stay in emergency shelters and transitional housing. As Queen City News reporter Shakira Speaks tells us tonight, they're concerned over how many people could be a paycheck away from being in a crisis.
McMullen Woods is one of several income-based affordable housing properties here in Charlotte. And a new county report states that at least half of the renters here are using more than 30% of their income to pay for housing. So that means just one minor financial hiccup could have a lot of households facing eviction or displacement.
Statistically, it's numbers, but crisis assistance is a mom and a dad, and they'll have their kids with them sometime. It's a real face who has just gotten a $200 increase to their apartment bill.
The doors to Crisis Assistance Ministry are constantly swinging open with neighbors searching for help.
We see and hear it all day, every day. Sometimes it feels like it's thousands and thousands.
Mecklenburg Housing Data says there are nearly 2,600 people experiencing homelessness as of December 31st. The county's annual housing instability report showed only 20% of extremely low-income renters were able to secure housing affordable at their income level. And eviction filings increased significantly in 2025, with more than 52,000 filings and 66% resulting in eviction orders.
What we know is each month they're figuring out, is it food, money, and energy or rent?
Carol Hardison with the Crisis Assistance Ministry says those eviction numbers are unprecedented, and that's one of the reasons why they're sharing the report now, is to let city and county officials know that the housing issue will continue if nothing is done about it. For now, reporting in Charlotte, Shakira Speaks, Queen City News.
Red Hot Hornets back in action tonight after the NBA All-Star break. The Buzz taking on the Houston Rockets at the Spectrum Center tonight. Hornets hung around most of the game, but just couldn't quite keep up with that red-hot Kevin Durant and the rest of the Rockets. 105-101 the score. Hornets making a push for the playoffs, now sit at 26-30 on the season. From basketball to baseball, play ball. The first spring training games kick off tomorrow. All 30 MLB teams are getting ready for the season, either in Arizona or Florida. 5 games on tap tomorrow. New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles will start things off with a 1:05 first pitch. The world champion Los Angeles Dodgers play their first game on Monday.
That's an appropriate story to have before we talk about the spring-like warmth that we had out there today. 78 degrees, the record-breaking high temperature, and it looks like we're going to break a record again tomorrow. Just how high that temperature will go before the winter-like chill returns, and also some showers and storms to talk about too in between those two air masses. Pinpoint weather forecast is next.
A member of Britain's royal family free after hours in custody of Scotland Yard. The investigation into the former Prince Andrew and its ties to sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein.
No jokes about it. I don't want to hear it. You know I'm bald. So.
Both of his jobs involve stand-up. We'll introduce you to a Charlotte teacher by day and a comedian by night in tonight's Faces of the Carolinas. Gabe.
We got a whole lot coming up at 11 o'clock on Carolina Sports Live. We'll break down the Hornets matchup against the Rockets, a back-and-forth battle between Kevin Durant and the Rockets, and, of course, LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. Plus, some big news in NASCAR. Joe Gibbs Racing filing a lawsuit against a former employee, plus a big slate of college hoops as well. And we check in with Charlotte FC as they get ready to kick off the season this weekend. That and more at 11 o'clock right here on CSL.
Stay right there. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte. Britain's King Charles making his first public appearance since the arrest of his brother, the former Prince Andrew. The King appeared at a Fashion Week event in London. Earlier today, he released a statement about the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, tied to an investigation linked to Jeffrey Epstein. Maddie Beertemple has that and the American reaction to the arrest.
Some lawmakers are praising the arrest of Prince Andrew, saying this is the start of the accountability that needs to happen. President Trump today called it a shame.
I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing.
British police took former Prince Andrew into custody Thursday on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It's related to his ties to the late convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein.
That is unprecedented. I can't remember ever a royal being arrested by the police.
Virginia Democratic Congressman Suhas Subramaniam says Congress's law forcing the release of the Epstein files last month is getting results.
The accountability is starting to emerge, and that's really what the victims have wanted, is some form of accountability.
The former prince has denied wrongdoing in his connection with Epstein. He's accused of sharing confidential trade information with Epstein while he was Britain's special envoy for international trade. California Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna says that was revealed in emails that came out as part of the DOJ's release of files. Khanna posted on X, quote, "Even princes are not above the law."
Well, the king has to answer what he knew about Andrew. And just stripping Andrew of a title is not enough.
Earlier this month, Khanna called for Andrew to testify before Congress. So did the brother of Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who claimed she was trafficked to have sex with Andrew in 2001 when she was 17. She died by suicide last year.
Former Prince Andrew, he needs to show up. He needs to show up, and he needs to answer questions in front of our Congress.
Former Prince Andrew's brother, King Charles III, issued a statement saying, quote, "The law must take its course," and said that he wouldn't comment further. In Washington, I'm Maddie Beertemple.
Parts of Oklahoma and Kansas are burning tonight as wildfires ravage that region of the plains. They have scorched more than 283,000 acres so far. The fires are hitting especially hard in the cattle country. Ranchers say they've lost a large portion of their livestock, but they've also learned from past wildfires that quick action can help them save their cattle and their land.
3-year cycle of producing an animal to get to the public's table. And so I was just thinking last week, the Starbucks fire of March 6, 2017 is embedded in our history, in our memory.
One of the fires in Kansas has killed 300 head of cattle. In the 2017 fires in the same area, 1,200 were lost. What about the weather here in our area? Across the Carolinas, live look at downtown Monroe on a quiet Thursday night. There could be some showers tomorrow, but that is not the highlight of the forecast that we have for you tonight. Chief Meteorologist Tara Lane here to talk about some much warmer temperatures, possibly record territory.
Oh, yeah, because the record tomorrow is only 77. I think we're going to pass that.
We hit that today, right?
As it was 78 degrees, yeah, so we even passed it today. And I think we're going to see some lower 80s on the temperature map for tomorrow afternoon, too. So pretty warm stuff for this time of the year. But if you're more of a fan of the winter chill, we have that coming, and you'll see it in the 7-day forecast here shortly, but does not feel like wintertime tonight, despite the fact that we are seeing little snowflake decorations still, of course, on the street light as we look live along King Street in downtown Boone. But you know what? We are going to see some natural snow by the time the weekend's over and done with up there just in the higher elevations, not around the Charlotte area, but we do get the colder air returning all around. But today, again, another look back, that record high 78 degrees broke the old one of 76 from back in 2014. And check out how low we got for temperatures this morning. Not so low, 59 degrees. That was still 1 degree above our normal late afternoon high for this middle of February here. Right now, we've got a pleasant 58 degrees showing up in Statesville and Salisbury, about 62 in Albemarle. You can see mid-upper 60s, the main theme here from parts of the Charlotte metro down through South Carolina, low 60s up in the foothills, and chillier 46 for those people walking around there at that boon. But showers and storms mainly up to our north and east. As I mentioned before, they're dealing with possibility of tornadoes and severe weather over parts of the Midwest tonight, from southern Illinois earlier up through Indiana, and now marching toward the central and southern parts of Ohio. We have that trailing cold front. Notice a couple of showers and storms back off to the west over parts of Tennessee, so we could see some of that activity. We likely will by tomorrow morning, a little bit later in the morning. I'll show you that timeline coming up. But notice temperatures tonight while we're sleeping not backing down much. We'll start around the low to mid 60s earlier and then top out 79. I'm going with 79. That would break that record of 77 for tomorrow afternoon. But what a contrast. So I mentioned the winter chill returning. By Monday morning, you wake up and send the kids back to school or headed back to work. You're going to have to bundle up with temperatures dropping down to around 30 degrees and daytime highs feeling much cooler, of course, as well. So close to 80 tomorrow. We'll get some showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm early in the day, mainly the first half of the day. It's not a total washout. Chance of rain and possible stronger even thunderstorms. That will increase for Saturday, but Sunday is looking like the drier half of the weekend and cooler and windy half of the weekend too. We go from 65 on Saturday to 53 on Sunday, but with some of that mountain snow developing as well. So we check things out on Futurecast. 6 a.m. tomorrow, the best chance of rain at that point. Maybe an isolated storm in the mix. We'll be up in the mountains, and then notice this little narrow band of some heavier rain, maybe a gusty thunderstorm in there. That comes on through a little bit later in the morning, 9, 10 o'clock or so, and around lunchtime pushing through east of Charlotte. And then we get some rapid clearing coming in for the afternoon. So that's what's going to help really boost that temperature close to the 80-degree mark. But then pretty quickly after that, clouds are back on the move again. Saturday morning, we're waking up to more areas of rain, and notice what happens in the afternoon. Temperatures warming up just a little bit. We get more instability, and yeah, we could see some bouts of heavier rain, maybe a couple of stronger storms with some gusty wind in the mix there, especially from Charlotte south and east. And then that clears out, some leftover showers Saturday night before it makes that transition over to some mountain snow by Sunday morning. Now, talking about that storm threat for Saturday, there is a risk of severe damaging thunderstorms when it comes to that strong wind threat. Mainly for now off to our south over sections of South Carolina and parts of the southeastern Tar Heel state there. But so our South Carolina communities could have maybe an isolated stronger storm moving on through there into the afternoon. So watching that, just stay weather aware if you're going to be out and about. But then notice as we get that colder air wrapping in by 4 p.m. on Sunday, and even before that, we'll start to see some of those scattered snow showers breaking out and wrapping around there, that area of low pressure moving off to the north and east, and more scattered snow showers for you all in the mountains, even into Monday afternoon. So we could see some light accumulation here, generally looking at about a dusting, generally under an inch of snow up there in Jefferson down through Blowing Rock, but places around Boone could see about 1 to 2 inches, and even some isolated higher amounts up towards ski country. So they are loving that news, up to 2 to 4 inches of snow, a possibility here. Mountain forecast shows we got one more day, really kind of 2 more days with those temperatures feeling pretty nice for this time of the year. Close to 60 tomorrow, low 50s on Saturday before the colder air rushes in with some blustery conditions. It is just going to get real windy up there and everywhere really to kick off next week as that colder air rushes in. 37 degrees on Sunday afternoon for you all in the high country, and only 27 for a high on Monday afternoon. So what a change from what we're feeling out there tonight. Temperatures settling into the 50s to lower 60s early tomorrow morning. We'll be around 60 up in the mountains tomorrow, and then upper 70s to lower 80s. Look at that 81 for you all in Chesterfield County there tomorrow afternoon. 7-day forecast shows the return of winter all around there. Sunday is that cooler and windy half of the weekend, only 46 Monday afternoon, back in the 20s for lows Tuesday morning.
I believe and feel that the lighthouse of Beatty'sville Road is the Excelsior, and we need to bring it back.
It was a cornerstone of entertainment and activism for members of Charlotte's Black community. The work being done to revive the Excelsior Club, and a presidential debate over alien life, what they're saying about the existence of ET. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte.
What does it really take to build generational wealth?
And why do so many families, especially families of color, start at a disadvantage?
For our Queen City News Black History Month special, we hold a powerful conversation right here in the heart of Charlotte, looking at the history, the data, and the path forward.
By bringing together leaders and experts in our community right here in the Queen City.
Generational wealth, the conversation on Queen City News.
Queen City News honors Black History Month by remembering the spaces where history was made. In West Charlotte, the Excelsior Club once stood as a beacon welcoming Black leaders, entertainers, and travelers during a time when many doors were closed. After years of silence, there's now a plan to restore that landmark and its legacy. Matt Stell has the story.
Some of my fondest memories, there were so many.
If you ask Ken Kuntz about his favorite memory while co-owning the Excelsior Club back in the 80s.
There was a sign that says, what you see here, hear here, stays here. So to answer your question, none of your damn business.
The former journalist turned businessman bought the historic West End Club from original founder Jimmy McKee.
McKee signed it over to somebody that they trusted. They knew who would do the right thing by it, and who also had some history and some sweat and some blood in the game.
As we know, it was a sacred space for movers and shakers in Charlotte's thriving Black community, a safe stop for Black travelers, and a gathering place hosting names like Sam Cooke, James Brown, and Louis Armstrong. But over time, and after a number of ownership changes, the Excelsior Club's light started to dim. Kuntz simply blames a generational shift.
There was the new, shall we say, people arriving who didn't really know much about the Excelsior Club, could care less, and didn't even join because they were now acceptable to the broader community, the Quail Hollows and the golf clubs and those kinds of things. So they really didn't continue to keep the Excelsior Club going forward.
But thankfully, after sitting vacant for nearly a decade,
we need to bring that back.
That light will soon return.
I believe and feel that the lighthouse of Beatty'sville Road is the Excelsior, and we need to bring it back.
Sean Kennedy is leading the redevelopment of the club, which will cost about $8 million. Much needed help will come from taxpayers, with the city of Charlotte and Mecklenburg County both agreeing to invest a combined $3 million in the project.
And here we are.
Kennedy calls it a heavy responsibility.
The history, the conversations, meetings, funerals, the weddings, all the things that happen in Excelsior mean so much to the people of this city.
As for what's next, Kennedy says he's determined to start reconstruction by next summer and have the project all done by 2029.
We'll bring back the historical features that you see in an Art Deco building. What we will also do is add a rooftop terrace to it to make it more useful in today's economy. And it will be on the same footprint, it will be the same exact size of what the Excelsior is.
Along with a restaurant, a meeting room, and a museum that hopes to honor the club's past, which for some seems like it was just yesterday.
Fantastic. I can hardly wait.
In West Charlotte, Matt Stell, Queen City News.
Police say she didn't want to miss her flight. The charges against a woman who abandoned her dog at a Nevada airport. They were called Hallis's team and the Monsters of the Midway, but the Chicago Bears could call another city home and state. The deal to get the franchise to move to Indiana. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte. We'll be right back.
I am not guilty. Your Honor, I respectfully ask the court to formally recognize my innocence and allow the record to reflect the evidence now confirms that I did not commit these crimes.
That is one of 4 Texas men wrongfully accused in a 1991 shooting that left 4 teenage girls dead. Today, a judge declared the men innocent, formally clearing their names. The men spent decades accused of the murders at a yogurt shop in the Texas capital. Avery Travis shares today's emotional testimony.
4 slips of paper carrying 3 words.
That you are innocent.
But as Michael Scott told the court,
Every day I have carried the weight of a crime I did not commit. No court ruling can return the years and the love that were taken from me, but it can acknowledge the truth.
Scott and Robert Springsteen stood convicted in one of Austin's most haunting nightmares, the killing of 4 teenage girls that became known as the yogurt shop murders. Scott faced life in prison, Springsteen, death row. 2 other men, also arrested and accused, Forrest Wellborn and Maurice Pierce. And despite DNA evidence excluding them years ago, and their cases respectively being appealed, overturned, or dismissed,
there were times when I wasn't sure that we were all going to make it through this.
The nightmare continued, literally for some family members.
I lost a lot of sleep during this scary time. It seemed so real, and I never knew what would come next when I tried to sleep. My privacy was invaded, and I felt my safety at risk.
They detailed the impacts: financial, practical, emotional, psychological.
Your tunnel vision stole my daddy's future.
Surrounded by pictures of Pierce, his daughter and wife called out detectives by name. They say used deceptive tactics to interrogate him and intimidate all the men for years. Pierce died in a police shooting in 2010. His family called for reforms to the system and coupled that with a message for the families of the 4 girls who were killed.
Of Eliza, Amy, and Sarah and Jennifer. My heart breaks for you and your girls. My father's heart broke for you and your girls. There are no words I can offer, but I will hold you in my prayers for the rest of my days.
Avery Travis reporting last September, Texas police linked serial killer Robert Brashers to the yogurt shop murders. And all investigators say he committed at least 8 murders between 1990 and 1998, one of them in Greenville, South Carolina. Brashers took his own life during a 1999 standoff. Former DoorDash driver who admitted to killing a 15-year-old boy in an uptown Charlotte shooting is expected to spend 3 to 5 years in prison. 28-year-old Keyshawn Boyd appeared in a Mecklenburg County court today. He was facing a murder charge, but Boyd agreed to plead guilty to a lesser charge of voluntary manslaughter. Boyd admitted to shooting the Matthias Crockett, who he is accused of trying to steal his car while on a delivery stop. During sentencing, the victim's mother addressed Boyd about her family's loss.
He got siblings. His siblings cry about this every day. I have to wake up every day, go to sleep every night. His 4-year-old brother cry about him like every day. They wake up, they think about their brother. They ask me, can I go pick him up? Can we go see him? It's hard taking kids to have to see their brother 6 feet under.
The judge gave Boyd a 4 to 6 year prison sentence. He will get credit for 393 days already served in jail. We are following some breaking news out of Hollywood on the death of former Grey's Anatomy star Eric Dane due to ALS. He got his start as a bit actor, appearing in shows like Saved by the Bell and Charmed. Dane gained fame for his portrayal of Dr. Mark McSteamy Sloan on the Grey's Anatomy from 2006 to 2012. Later, he starred as an action drama in The Last Ship. Last April, Dane revealed his diagnosis with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Eric Dane was just 53 years old. A Nevada woman is facing animal abandonment and other charges after she allegedly left her dog tied up at an airport baggage sizer. The video getting viral attention. Take a look.
What we're going to do is we're going to walk you back to where your dog's at, and then we're going to issue a citation.
Officers arrested 26-year-old Jamiron Bryson on February 2nd at Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas. Investigators say Bryson failed to finish paperwork for a JetBlue flight to take her dog along as a service animal. She is accused of leaving the dog tied up in the check-in area and heading to her flight. JetBlue employees called police, who stopped Bryson before her flight. Officers say Bryson got hostile and resisted arrest. Her 2-year-old dog is now in care of the animal rescue group in Las Vegas.
One of our adopters is a police officer, and she was on scene with him when she saw that, he needed a rescue.
People with the rescue group named the dog JetBlue, and they say they've gotten more than a dozen applications to adopt that cutie pie. Chicago has been home to the NFL's Bears since 1921, and they're one of the 2 founding franchises in the league. The NFC North team has played at Soldier Field for more than a half a century, but that could soon change. The Bears owners want a new stadium and have waged a years-long fight for one in Illinois, but today, team executives told Indiana lawmakers their vision is a new facility from across the state line from Chicago and Hammond, Indiana. As Dana Rebick reports, the Bears believe the move to the Rust Belt city makes financial sense.
I think the Bears are frustrated with what's going on in Illinois. I really do. I feel like they're tired of asking and being vilified.
Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott revealing new details about a potential stadium deal in his city. McDermott says he's known the Bears have had their eyes focused on Hammond as their top choice in Northwest Indiana since the holidays.
There was one day when property owners were being notified by the state of Indiana that they wanted to acquire their property for this deal. That's when it started to get real for me.
In late January, the Indiana Senate passed Senate Bill 27. Today, that bill passed out of a House committee. The legislation creates the Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority, establishing the power to acquire land and financing for a stadium and related facilities, with a focus now on the Wolf Lake site in Hammond.
Everything when it comes to what's the next step, all of those have pretty well been met. This would be something that comes as a surprise to where we don't get it done.
Under an Indiana plan, the Bears would still pay $2 billion for construction costs for a new stadium. Indiana would create new taxes, including toll road revenue to pay for $1 billion in infrastructure costs, a 1% food and beverage tax in Lake and Porter counties, and a 5% innkeeper's tax in Lake County, as well as an admissions tax. The Bears saying today the passage of Indiana Senate Bill 27 would mark the most meaningful step forward in our stadium planning efforts to date. We are committed to finishing the remaining site-specific necessary due diligence to support our vision to build a world-class stadium near the Wolf Lake area in Hammond, Indiana. The state would own the stadium, with the Bears having an option to buy. If leased, that would mean no property taxes for the team, a huge sticking point in the Arlington Heights site.
I think everybody's excited. We hear the Bears might be coming to Hammond. It's crazy.
Some residents do fear their property taxes increasing, but say it would be worth it in the long run.
I think with the taxes coming in, it will be a benefit. If things go up, it goes up, but what we're going to get from it is going to be so much better because our property value is going to skyrocket.
Dana Rebrick reporting Indiana lawmakers are expected to vote on the stadium measure before their session ends on February 27th. Bears executives are continuing negotiations with Illinois officials. Tara?
After that record high today, 78 degrees in the Queen City. We're not cooling down much tonight. 60 so far, 66 outside of our studios, but tracking another cold front that will bring us some rounds of showers and storms and eventually a return of the winter chill. Pinpoint weather forecast is next.
I'd rather live with not having any regrets. I don't want to go to my grave and say, I wish I tried this.
In class, he takes the job of teaching seriously, but off campus, he gets paid to be funny. The man behind the observational humor in Faces of the Carolinas. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte. Almost everyone grows up with a class clown at Charlotte's Garinger High School. The one cracking the most jokes, maybe the history teacher who takes his job quite seriously. When he's not teaching, though, his side hustle takes him to venues all over the country. Queen City News storyteller John Lee explains in tonight's Faces of the Carolinas.
Teacher Chris Mons has a mantra.
Make smart choices.
If you make smart choices now, you'll get in the habit and it's going to carry with you.
If you need paper or pencil, it's up front.
This story was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
You think about it.
Well, a live classroom audience at Garinger High.
If you need, look at the map. It might help you look at the map.
And Mr. Mons is all over the map as he teaches world history.
Because who wants to sit here and it's boring? I have to get them to laugh. So that's how culture diffusion, that's how trading, that's how all of that works.
He started teaching last year, but it's kind of in his blood.
I come from a family of teachers too. A lot of my aunts and cousins.
In class, he discusses vocabulary words, while the teens, they keep him up to date on slang.
Okay, so if I say y'all work late today, all team no shade.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
It is, see? I try to be hip. I'm in the desert. All I got is a comb to comb my hair. No jokes about it. I don't want to hear it. You know I'm bald. So they always say, well, you got a bald head, Mr. Mons.
That's the likable head of the class posted on the door. The fun fact is that at home he has a collection of 100 hats, but he also wears another hat.
I put the cable in my son's name.
Chris has been a stand-up comedian for the past decade.
You go to a black funeral, they have the stuff that killed the person at the funeral. She died of diabetes, and you got a whole spread of fried chicken and collard greens on. That's what put her in the ground. So my style of comedy is very observational. I'm reading the room, and I try to make it about my everyday life.
Life with his wife Danielle and his 3 kids.
And she said, well, since I got a big head, your credit score is preventing us from refinancing our house.
He spent years coaching baseball at Tuckasegee Rec Center, so teaching is a logical transition.
You got this. I believe in you.
He spends weekends chasing the funny.
So I don't want to go to my grave and say, I wish I tried this.
On a board in the back of the class, Mr. Mons asked students to write thought-provoking quotes like, "In a world where you can be anything, be kind." As a teacher, he weaves the wisdom in with those moments when he's kind of a wise guy. But he's not just in this for the material.
If y'all pass y'all midterms, I'll grow my hair out.
Okay. Watch out, pass.
And I'll let y'all get one joke a day.
And beyond all the bald jokes,
that's my treat to y'all.
His choice closing line,
see you tomorrow,
is a thoughtful reminder.
Make smart choices.
In Charlotte, John Lee, Queen City News.
Love that story. Chris Mons is among the comics scheduled to perform at Rock Hill Confidential on March 27th. He also tours nationally with local comedian Tim Shropshire, and you can find out more about his tour dates in our story at qcnews.com. Let's talk about the weather right now as we are looking live at, well, let's look at South Park right now at the mall. We've got the Carnegie buildings over there, right over on the other side of the mall. Temperatures could hit a record high tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Tara Lane talking about we're going to be in short sleeve weather, shorts weather, and we're going to be hitting records possibly near 80. Somebody's going to hit 80 somewhere.
Yes, I believe so, because while we're talking about the chance of rain tomorrow, it's not going to be all day. We're going to have a lot of sunshine through the afternoon. After that clears out after the morning. And yes, I suspect we will see some at least 80-degree temperatures showing up in some neighborhoods. So yes, indeed, we do have the warm up. That continues if you didn't have a chance to get outside and enjoy that today. And look at this, maybe for doing something outside and walking around the Nantahala Outdoor Center out there in Swain County and doing anything outside, doing some dining out at one of those South Park area restaurants, al fresco. Another great day for it. That is after, again, we get through some of those showers or maybe a thunderstorm first part of the day tomorrow. But 78 degrees, just a recap of just how warm it did get today. That did break the old record of 76 from back in 2014. Record tomorrow 77 also from that same year, 2014. And I suspect that we will break that as well. 67 right now. We are not cooling down much at all tonight. Only a few more more degrees from where we are at the moment. South-southwest wind in the Queen City right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. It did get a little gusty again today, and we will do the same thing again tomorrow. Some overall just breezy and gusty conditions will last right on through the weekend and even early next week. 58, just a little bit cooler now in Statesville and Iredell County, still hanging on in the mid-60s there off to the east of Charlotte along Highway 74. 58 for you all in Morganton after a warm one today. 40s and lower 50s up in the higher elevations in the mountains. Warm front is lifting.
Hey, we're going to take it from there as we lost Tara's audio, and we just know that it's going to be record-breaking heat tomorrow, Gabe. That is a good thing. Everyone's going to want to get outside. But before coming up at 11 o'clock, let's talk about CSL.
Yeah, luckily basketball played inside. The Charlotte Hornets back in action against the Houston Rockets. Another back-to-back coming up against the Cavaliers tomorrow. We're going to recap the matchup tonight, plus some big news in NASCAR. Joe Gibbs Racing filing a lawsuit against a former employee. Going to talk some college hoops as well. Making a trip down to Rock Hill to check on the Winthrop basketball team, and also Charlotte FC getting ready for their upcoming season as well. That and more at CSL at 11 o'clock.
Big night coming up in about 12 minutes or so. Stay right there. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte.
All right, good evening, 10:51. Let's resume that pinpoint weather forecast now that we have our technical difficulties resolved there, so we apologize for that. But again, we are tracking some showers and storms lifting up into the Midwest tonight and parts of the Mid-Atlantic. We are still rain and storm free here, but we do have a cold front that is going to advance in from the west, spreading in some of those clouds while we're sleeping tonight, and eventually some showers and possibly a couple of thunderstorms into tomorrow morning. So tracking these weekend showers and storms mainly through the first half of the week weekend on Saturday. The rain is needed, as we've been talking about so much here lately. Latest look at the drought monitor. Not too much of a change. If anything, just a touch more of an expansion of that widespread severe drought where you see that deeper orange color. And I know your eyes are still drawn to where we have that extreme drought in place over most of Cabarrus County, parts of Stanley, Union County, even a little western sliver there, parts of York County and Chester County into South Carolina. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a ton of rain coming in here over the next couple of days, so I'll show you that coming up. But tomorrow, again, the best chance of showers or a thunderstorm will be first half of the day, so it's not an all-day washout by any means. We'll see a lot of sunshine through the afternoon, giving us that extra boost in temperatures through the high 70s and even a few spots in the lower 80s, and that would break the record high of 77 from 2014. So we check out the timeline. You can see on Futurecast 7 o'clock in the morning. Best chance of rain at that point will be for you all in the mountains and foothills, and then we'll likely see this skinny band of some heavier gusty showers or an embedded thunderstorm moving through closer to lunchtime, exiting the area early part of the afternoon, sliding off to the east. Sunshine returns, but pretty quickly after that, it's back to increasing clouds, maybe a few showers later tomorrow night if you're going out, and then Saturday morning waking up to some areas of rain and the possibility of even an isolated strong to severe storm south and east of Charlotte Saturday afternoon containing some strong wind gusts. Few showers could still linger into early Sunday morning before we see that change over to mountain snow as that colder air returns. So again, rainfall forecast, it's not looking like much, a few tenths, maybe a quarter of an inch by the time all is said and done. But after the showers move out early Sunday morning, we'll see that transition over to some scattered snow showers from time to time just for you all in the mountains later Sunday and heading into early Monday. So we go from 79 tomorrow to 53 on Sunday, highs only in the 40s on Monday. We do have those moderating temperatures, though, returning by 7 days from now.
Tara, thank you. Let's go down live now to Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where NASA just wrapped up its latest dress rehearsal for its upcoming mission to the moon. That means managers fueled the Space Launch System rocket and then simulated the launch. The previous rehearsal uncovered issues with the liquid hydrogen propellant leaking from a fueling connection that forced NASA to make repairs and delay this month's flight to next month. Artemis 2 will send 4 astronauts on a 10-day space mission, including the first crewed moon flyby since 1972. Managers will discuss this test results tomorrow. The new head of NASA is blasting Boeing and its own agency for the botched Starliner flight that left 2 astronauts stuck in space for 9 months. Officials released their report on the crewed test of the ill-fated capsule that began in June of 2024. Starliner had thruster failures and other problems, forcing Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams to stay aboard the International Space Station until last March, when they returned in a SpaceX capsule. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman, they point to his poor leadership and decision-making at Boeing that led to Starliner's troubles. He also blamed NASA managers for not getting Wilmore and Williams back to Earth more quickly. President Trump is accusing former President Obama of revealing classified information about the existence of alien life. It all started with Obama's appearance on a recent podcast.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
Obama's comment came during a speed round of questions from podcast host Brian Tyler Cohen, released over the weekend. The former president later posted a statement on social media, says he believes aliens are real, but he has not seen evidence of extraterrestrial contact with humans. On Air Force One today, a reporter asked President Trump about his predecessor's comments.
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. Well, he made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it.
President Trump then asked the reporter if he believed in aliens. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte. We'll be right back with the final check of your pinpoint forecast, followed by Carolina Sports Live. Download the Queen City News Plus app on your smart TV using either a Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire device. Carolina Sports Live next at 11, and a new episode of Side Hustle Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young talks with a man who has made ice carving his business. And on Turnkey, anchor Morgan Francis looks at families working together to invest in homes. Watch it all new on our new Queen City News Plus app, Tara.
After that record-breaking temperature earlier today, 78 degrees, take a look at how warm it's going to be tomorrow. How about 79 in the Queen City? Some lower 80s to the south and east, so that's 79. That would break the record of 77 for tomorrow. Watch for some showers, maybe a thunderstorm in the morning, drier in the afternoon, more showers and storms on Saturday.
Sounds good. Looking good for that temperatures tomorrow. CSL coming up next.